So yesterday we talked about fractions and how they relate to decimals. We looked at some decimal models, we figured out what the models represented, and then we wrote them as a fraction. Today we're going to go backwards. So first, I'm going to show you a fraction. Okay. Can you read this fraction out loud for me real quickly? Hopefully you said 6/10. So if we're going to write 6/10 as a decimal, we need to put a 6 in the 10th place. This fraction reads 6/10. So we want to put a 6 in the 10th place. Now, if this fraction just looks like this, we have no holes. So 0, and remember, everything to the left of our decimal is whole numbers. So to the left of our decimal is the ones place, then we go tens, hundreds, on and on and on. Everything to the right is part of a whole, which means it's a decimal. So we also know that as we go to the right, our places get smaller and smaller and smaller. So the biggest decimal place we can have is the 10th place. So the 10th place is right here after the decimal. So I'm going to put a 6 in the 10th place. Super simple, right? Let's try another one. Let's start by reading this fraction out loud. 75 hundredths. 75 hundredths. So I need to have 75 hundredths. I have no holes. So I'm going to put a 0, put my decimal. 75 hundredths. Well, we know that we can't put 2 digits in the hundredths place. This is the 10th place. This is the 100th place. So 75 hundredths, we have 7 groups of 10, so 7 in the 10th place, 5 hundredths left over. So when we read this, we read 0 and 75 hundredths. Okay, hopefully this seems pretty simple. I'm gonna throw you a challenge. Ooh, what is this? I don't just see a fraction, I also see a whole number. This is called a mixed number. Why would it be a mixed number? Well, it's because we have a whole number and we have a fraction. So this is called a mixed number. This is 1 and 5/10. So if we were to write this as a decimal, we know I'm gonna put a decimal here, so this is gonna be our ones place. This would be our 10ths place. 1 would be in the ones place. And 5/10. So a 5 in the 10th place. So like this number right here, we know that there is a whole, but there's also a part of a whole. We have $1 and 5 dimes. $1, and we can even add a 0 here and say 50 cents, right? That doesn't change the value of our number because these stayed in the same places. So it is possible to have wholes and part of a whole. So with fractions, whenever you have both, you see it represented typically as a mixed number. Now, I kind of wanted to show you something else before we finished off today. Look at this fraction. What do you notice? Well, I know that my denominator tells me how many parts you need to make a whole. And I know my numerator tells me the parts that you are considering. So what's interesting here is that my numerator is bigger than my denominator. So I'm gonna pretend like I'm working with pizza. So if I had a pizza, 2 parts to make a whole. So I'm gonna split this in half. These 2 parts make a whole. if I shade it in, I have one part, I have two parts. But wait, I don't have two parts, I have 7 parts. So I guess I need another pizza. That would be 3 parts, 4 parts. Uh-oh, I need another pizza. 5 parts, 6 parts, I'm almost there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 halves. I don't just have one whole pizza. I have 1, 2, 3 whole pizzas and a half of a pizza. Wait a minute. This kind of reminds me of my mixed number. Remember, with my mixed number, I had whole numbers and fractions. This right here is called an improper fraction. An improper fraction means that there's wholes and a fractional piece. So looking at this, we know fractions show us a part of a whole. The reason why this is an improper fraction is because this isn't showing us just a part of a whole. It's actually showing us 3 wholes and 1 half. So I can rewrite that fraction as a mixed number. 7 halves is equal to 3 wholes and 1 half. I only needed 2 pieces to make a whole, but I had 7. So I was able to make, with those 7 pieces, 1, 2, 3 wholes, and then I had a half left over. So you're gonna see some improper fractions and mixed numbers mixed in to problems that you solve. So I just want to give you a brief introduction into those today. But hopefully you're feeling very confident doing this. We're able to relate and show the fractional piece and the decimal. These are the same value. They equal the same thing. And it's really easy going from a fraction to a decimal because we just read it out loud. 1 and 5/10. We write 1 and 5/10. Well, ignore the 0. That would be 50 hundredths, but you get what I mean. All right, 4th grade, I hope you have fun working on your math today. I will see you later.